Hi there, do the math here. For today's video, we're going to learn on how to find the roots of a given polynomial equation. We have here on the board an example, 64x cubed plus 27 is equal to 0. So, ang una natin gagawin, since siya ay power of 3, we cannot use the techniques that we have learned in quadratic function na pwede tayong gumamit ng completing the square, pwede tayong gumamit ng quadratic formula, or factoring. But in this case, since the power is 3, so it's, meron tayong ibang technique or ibang pamamaraan para isolve ang roots ng equation na ito. So, for review, we've learned to factor the sum and difference of two cubes. Okay, so say for example, we have x cubed plus y cubed. Alam natin na ang factor niya ay x plus y and then x squared minus xy plus y squared. Okay, pagka minus naman, so x cubed minus y cubed. So ang factors niya ay x minus y and then x squared minus xy plus y. This is plus pala, not minus. Plus xy plus y squared. Okay, so ito yung formula, sum and difference of two cubes. Now, we go back to our example. So, in our example, we can rewrite this one into a power of 3 or a cube. Okay, so 64. Mag-iisip tayo ngayon ng number na kung saan pag erase natin siya into a power of 3, the answer is 64. Okay, so say for example, since ito ay 64, so let's try 3 cube. Okay, 3 cube means you're going to multiply 3 times. 3 times 3 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9 multiplied by 3, so that makes 27. Oh, we have a 27 here. So we can just replace 27 by 3 to the power of 3, which make 27. Now, how about this one, 64? So since 27, 3, so we will try 4. 4 to the power of 3. So that makes 4 times 4 and times 4 is equal to 4 multiplied by 4 is 16 times 4, so that is 64. So this will now be equal to 4 x. Since ang x ay power of 3 na, we can just put it inside a bracket and then power of 3. So if you're going to solve this one, that will be equal to 64x cubed. Okay, erase na natin to. Now, we need to write equals 0. Okay, so since we na-rewrite na natin yung equation into this form, we can now select a formula here. Okay, which formula we're going to use? So the first one, since it's plus, so we have a cube here and a cube here. So we will use the formula, the first formula. Okay, so we can just say that our x is equal to 4x and our y is equal to 3. Then following the formula, okay, so x plus y. So x is 4x and then plus 3. Okay, multiplied by, okay, we have x cubed here. So we can put 4x into a bracket, then raise to a power of 2. Because that is x to the power of 2. Then minus xy. So that will be 4x multiplied by y, which is 3. And then plus, okay, y squared. So y squared is 3. Okay, pwede na natin itong i-erase. Okay, y is equal to 3, so that will be 3 to the power of 2. And then close bracket is equal to 0. Okay, do not forget to write equals to 0 because that is equation. Okay, that makes the expression an equation equal to 0. Okay, and then simplifying our answer, we have now 4x plus 3. Okay, so that makes 16. Okay, 4 to the power of 2 is 16. X squared. Okay, we have to distribute 2 to every element inside the bracket. Minus 4 times 3, that will be 12x. And then plus 9 squared. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. Not 9 squared, but 9. Okay. 3 to the power of 2 is 9, so is equal to 0. Okay, so we can now find the roots of the given equation by equating each one of this into 0. So the first one, okay, we have 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, so we can just solve for x because this is just a linear form. So we can move 3 on the other side of the equation. Okay, turning this one into 4x is equal to, since this is positive, okay, it will be negative when you move it on the other side of the equation. Okay, and then we divide by 4, divide by 4, and then cancel. So now we have x is equal to negative 3 over 4. So this is our first root, or x sub 1. Okay. Now, we also have the second part of our root. That will be 16x squared minus 12x plus 9. So, solve din natin yung x values dito. But since we have a quadratic function or quadratic equation, pwede tayong gumamit ng quadratic formula, completing the square, or factoring method. Okay, so maybe sa example na ito, we can use the quadratic formula. So, quadratic formula states that x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac and then all over twice of a. Okay, so we've learned that these variables here, a is 16, b is negative 12, and c is 9. Okay, we can just substitute the values to the formula. So, negative b, negative of negative 12. Okay, we'll just take the constant. Okay? Hindi natin isama yung mga variables na x. Okay? And then, square root of b squared, so negative 12 squared. And then plus, or minus, sorry, this is minus. Okay, minus of 4. Our a is 16. And our b is, our c is 9, 4ac. All over twice of a, which is 16. 2 times 16. So, from here, we can just use the calculator to solve for the value of x. I know allowed naman kayo gumamit ng calculator, or you can just solve it manually. Okay, by using the calculator, we have now the result of this one. Okay, as you can see, we have a negative number inside the square root. And the same as the other root. Okay, negative number inside the square root. So, that means all of this root are imaginary. So, we cannot consider this one as the real root of our given polynomial equation. So, the answer is only one. The root is equal to negative 3/4. Okay? Understand po ba? Okay, this one class, this one you can just use the equation to solve the root of this one. Kasi minsan pagka negative yung answer sa loob ng square root, ang lumalabas sa calculator is math error. So if you know how to use the equation on your calculator, you can just input the values here and it will give you this answer. Or you can solve this one manually. And it will give you a negative answer inside the square root. Pareho lang po yun. Okay, any question po? Okay, now we will go to example number 2. Okay, so we have here example number 2, 25x squared minus 70x plus 49 is equal to 0. So we're going to solve the roots of this given polynomial equation. So as you can see, the highest power is 2. So it's a quadratic equation. So we can just use completing the square, quadratic formula, or by factoring. So as for me, we can just use by factoring method. So by factoring, Okay, by factoring, in this case, we can just factor the first term and the last term. Okay, so this is my style of factoring quadratic equation. So, what are the factors of 25x squared? So, two numbers wherein we are going to multiply and it will be equal to 25. Okay, so we have 5, right? 5x and 5x. So, isusulat natin siya in this form. So, 5x times 5x, that is equal to 25x squared. So, ang second one is we are going to factor the last term, 49. So, ano yung mga factors ng 49? So, di ba po 7 times 7? So, we can just write down 7 multiplied by 7. So, 7 times 7, that makes 49. And then, we can cross-multiply. Okay, cross-multiply. So, 5x times 7, that makes 35x. Okay, the same goes here. 5x times 7 is equal to 35x. Then we can add, okay, plus. So, write down x and then 35 plus 35 is equal to 70. So, our goal here is that when we cross-multiply and then we add the answers, the final answer will be or must be equal to the middle term. Okay, so since our answer is 70x, and in here we have negative, so that means we have a negative number here, okay, from the factor. So we can just say that this is negative and this one is also negative. So therefore, the answer is negative as well. Or the answers are negative as well. So when we add negative and negative, so that makes negative 70x. So this is now equal to the middle term. So therefore, the factors of our quadratic functions are this one. So we can just write down 5x minus 7 and then multiplied by this one. Okay, 5x minus 7 is equal to 0. So we can solve now for the x. Okay, we can equate each of this one to 0. So we can have 5x minus 7 is equal to 0. So moving 7 on the other side of the equation, it will be positive. So 7, then divided by 5. So x now is equal to 7 over 5. Okay, the same goes here. Okay, 5x minus 7 is equal to 0. So the same answer. That means we have two roots that are the same. Okay. 7 over 5. Okay. These are now the roots of our quadratic equation. Okay, the third example. Okay, we will go directly to the third example. Third example. Okay, the third example goes like y cubed is equal to, not equal, minus 125 is equal to 0. Okay, so this one, we can use also the formula na natutunan natin sa first example. Okay, the sum and difference of two cubes. Okay, so we have x plus y and then x squared minus xy plus y squared. Or you can have difference. So x minus y, x squared plus xy and then plus y squared. Okay, this one is x cube minus y cube, I plus cube is equal to, and this one is x cube minus y cube is equal to. Okay, so we can choose any formula from here, but as for me, there is a shortcut way on how to do this one. We can just say y cube is equal to moving 125 on the other side. This will be positive, so 125. Then we can just take the cube root on both sides of the equation. Okay, So by calculator, the cube root of this one is equal to 5. Y is equal to 5. So therefore, the root of this function is 5. Y is equal to 5. We can just check. 5 cube is 5 times 5 times 5. So that makes 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 25 times 5. Okay, 25 carry 2. So 5 times 2, 10 plus 2, 12. Okay, it's equal to 125. Or you can just press your calculator for the cube root and it will give you 5. So the answer here is 5. Okay, so that will be all for this video. I hope you've learned something. And see you again for some more math tutorial lessons. Goodbye!